Looking at the scale of the destruction in Nepal, the numbers are staggering. Nearly 400 people are confirmed dead, and over 1,200 individuals remain missing. A sudden wall of muddy water crashed through these mountain valleys, submerging entire villages in seconds. Residents were left with almost no time to react, let alone pack their belongings and flee. Right now, rescue teams are attempting to navigate treacherous, mud-slick terrain to pull survivors from the debris. It is a massive ongoing operation, but the sheer volume of this water presents a geographical anomaly. It did not come from a localized storm. Instead, this catastrophic surge originated further north, pouring down from Tibet. To understand exactly how a disaster of this magnitude happened, we have to look past the immediate destruction in Nepal and investigate what triggered the initial cascade across the Chinese border. Tracing the floodwaters upstream leads to Garong Port in Tibet. From this gateway, the surge carved a violent downhill path into Nepal. Traveling with immense momentum, the water wiped out border towns, eventually spilling into northern Indian states. Almost immediately, locals and regional observers began pointing to a specific theory. The sudden deluge was the result of a structural failure at a Chinese dam. Over the last few years, China has built dozens of hydroelectric projects across the Tibetan Plateau. For the nations sitting directly downstream from these megastructures, a major dam breach is a constant, highly plausible fear. Beijing's diplomatic response was swift, explicitly rejecting the dam collapse theory, publicly labeling the claims from the Nepali side as fake news that benefits no one. With the dam theory officially denied by Chinese authorities, investigators have to sort through conflicting reports of geological anomalies in the region to find the true trigger for the flood. The Chinese embassy in Nepal offered an alternative explanation. They issued a statement claiming that an earthquake struck the border region on August 25th, triggering massive landslides and displacing the water. That political claim clashes directly with hard data from the United States Geological Survey, or USGS. USGS monitoring systems recorded no seismic activity in the region during that timeframe, effectively debunking the earthquake claim. This leaves one scientifically sound theory to explain the sudden displacement of so much water: a catastrophic, high-altitude avalanche. The mechanics here are known as a glacial lake outburst flood, or GLOF. When a massive avalanche of snow and ice falls directly into a high-altitude glacial lake, it violently displaces the water inside and launches a massive wave over the lake's natural rocky dam. Once that water breaches the basin, it gathers unstoppable momentum as it channels through steep gorges, picking up mud and debris along the way. An avalanche-triggered outburst perfectly explains the physical force of the flood. What it fails to explain is how a disaster of this scale reached populated areas downstream without a single warning. The geological trigger is only half the equation. The high death toll is directly tied to a systemic failure in cross-border communication. China possesses advanced border monitoring systems that track exactly these types of water level spikes. And yet, as the floodwaters gathered strength, zero proactive alerts were communicated to the Nepalese civilians living downstream. Former Nepali government officials have expressed deep frustration over this lack of communication, publicly questioning why Nepal constantly pays the price in what they describe as a one-sided geopolitical relationship with Beijing. By withholding vital monitoring data, a natural hazard that could have triggered an evacuation was instead transformed into a deadly surprise attack on sleeping villages. In the immediate aftermath, neighboring India initiated a rapid response, deploying military helicopters and delivering essential relief supplies to isolated communities that were completely cut off by the mud. In a tragic irony, Chinese authorities have finally issued a formal warning to Nepal, stating that the next 3 days carry a severe risk of secondary floods. Until integrated cross-border early warning systems supersede political secrecy, the nation sitting in the shadow of the Himalayas will remain defenseless against the immense forces upstream.